humans, and hello to all those non-humans also watching. Gita Rose here. Thank you for tuning in. This week's video is knowing the unknown. The unknown is a state of awareness, is a state of consciousness, is a state of being, and in many ways can even be a feeling. So I've talked about many times on this channel the idea of knowing when you don't know, and that is then something that we know. You can know that you don't know, knowing the unknown. And it's an extremely powerful place to be. It is the nexus point, the origin point, the 0 point. It is the void of all possibilities. It is the black hole of all information that, as I interpret it and see it, is the point of the Ouroboros where the snake is fully eating its own tail. It is the place of such condensed amount of information that it has now reached the absolute spaciousness of all things. This state, the knowing that we don't know, was one of the first channeled messages that I received from the hybrid lineage to help me to not only get in the state of vocal channeling and to maintain the state, but also to be able to maintain that awareness in my waking day-to-day life, to continue to help me align with circumstances that allowed me to choose beliefs, ideas that are really of service to me, to continue to be the best version of me. And during these times of intense transformation, I'm really feeling that this place of resting in the unknown, being comfortable and being uncomfortable, and being in this void, this nexus place, this space of dark, where all things are possible, is so potent and powerful for us moving forward. Because right now we are really seeing so many different narratives, stories, ideas, and truths that allowing ourselves to know that perhaps we don't know. Even when we really think that we know, maybe we don't know. And allowing ourselves to know the nothing then leads us to being able to feel the power of the unknown. And I observe a lot in myself and in humanity that we have a conditioning to need to believe things, to think that we know how things are happening, to have a sense of structure, of boxes, to be able to classify things. The brain, the ego, is really comforted by there being structure. But the more that I fully allow myself to blend and integrate with the space of the void and the unknown, the more that I know for myself, the only real structure is that there is no structure. The only constant, stable aspect of the all that is that it's always changing. So this very natural fear and resistance to being in the state of unknown is softening if we choose it. If we choose to know that we are brave enough to hold on to the nothing, the unknown. So perhaps just feel into different aspects of your own being that are really holding on to a specific narrative, belief, box, idea, and just allow yourself to feel the sensations that arise when you begin to play with the idea that perhaps that is not the truth, and that there is no box ever about anything. Just allow yourself to feel how it feels for you. And I'm sharing this idea as a bit of a foundation for later videos, because again, this is a very deep, conditioned, emotional response that stems from beliefs we have about there needing to be a certain amount of structure. And this, from my experience, is what allows the journey to really begin. The acceptance of the unknown, wielding it, being in it. And there's many different emotional places that we need to move through to allow the journey to occur. So for me, when I tune into the sensation of what it feels like to really surrender that resistance into the unknown, it feels like the beginning processes of when a plant medicine or even MDMA, ecstasy, is beginning to start. That type of anxious feeling, or the feeling in the pit of your stomach that, yeah, we translate a lot of times as this kind of frenetic, anxious energy. And we all know that that is the inverse of excitement. But again, I'm just taking this idea kind of slow and in steps and stages, and I'm really excited to offer different sound journeys, shamanic type journeys that allow us to get deeper into that state of wielding and being the unknown and being the place of all potential. So just allow yourself to just feel these different feelings, and to again look at and feel places in your story right now where maybe you really are choosing to have a belief about something. And in my journey as well, in understanding this space, wielding this space, being this space, I have tuned into my own translations where it feels that our collective, our third density, our vibration is actually closer to the underworld. And that this vibration of the unknown, this state, this consciousness, this place of being of the unknown is very much connected to the underworld. And again, going with this idea of a Ouroboros and a type of shamanic experience, we are actually closer vibrationally to the underworld than we are to the other world or the spirit world. Now, these are just words that I'm using, right? Essentially, the underworld and the other world are the same thing, but we're just utilizing different translations to allow us to blend and integrate in different ways. So always just use what works for you. But for me, I feel this place of the underworld, a place of darkness that's really beautiful, a place of the lower astral, where we are closer to that vibrationally. And when we allow ourselves to really surrender into that, it's almost like perhaps a way that we could even play with this idea. It's almost like consciously lowering your vibration to reach a higher vibration. But in order to lower your vibration, in order to have the experience of lowering your vibration, paradoxically, you're actually raising your vibration. But we have to be brave enough to be vulnerable enough to be the place of the unknown. And just allowing yourself to feel your emotional body and how you are responding to this idea of going on the journey into the underworld, into the deep unknown, into the lower astrals, and then again being able to follow that snake eating its own tail into the higher astral, into the knowing of fourth density, into the dream, and into then the fifth dimension, otherworld, spirit realm, and coming back down into our mask of our personality. And just note those sensations and any other different correlations and translations that are coming through for you in regards to this idea. So again, in this week's video, I am laying a foundation of a concept and offering the place for us to collectively dive in deeper together into that state of knowing that we don't know, and being with the nothing and being the unknown itself. I also see this as a really fun opportunity to perhaps tie some bows together on our present. Bow. Sigh. I love sighing and tying bows onto aspects of our present whenever possible. Because there are so many different storylines and beliefs and reflections happening right now in our collective realities and in this very particular community, that whenever I can offer some line of a middle way of the Trinity, and again of this space of the void and the nothing and the unknown, I will always take that opportunity. So I am going to read a passage from Daryl Anka's latest book. This is book 2 of the Shards of a Shattered Mirror series, titled Nocturnal, with beautiful cover art by Vashta Narada. I deeply recommend this series. For those of you that don't know, I would definitely say that you need to start with the first book, The Cryptic, and then go to the second book. It is a really fun, new, interesting, activating story that, from my perspective, there are so many different codes and symbols and activations that we can receive through this specific story. And that is what story format does for us, is really allows us to intake information and to find our own translations. So I am going to read a passage from this book that feels completely applicable and again helps to tie together a bow. So this is the Nocturnal Mantra by Nightshade the Nocturnal. The beginning of wisdom is to know you know nothing. To know nothing is to know the unknowable. To know the unknowable is to explore the great mystery. To explore the great mystery is to discover what is worth knowing. All things worth knowing are hidden in the mystery. All secrets are shrouded in darkness. But I do not live in the darkness. The darkness and the secrets live within me. That about sums it up. It's perfect. And again, I so deeply recommend these books. So know that during these palpable, powerful times of transformation, we are powerful enough to hold on to the nothing. That we can choose to know that we don't know, and choose to know that that is something that we know. And from that place, all things are possible. And what we need to know will be discovered and uncovered from that place. Thank you to those of you who subscribed recently, and thank you to those of you who continue to support and encourage my journey thus far. I sincerely appreciate it. You can like if you like, and subscribe if you like, and ring the bell ding dong if you like to get notifications on new videos. Our minds may be different, our bodies may be different, but it is through our hearts that we know our spirits are one. Aloha!